Going into the first week of the AFL Finals, I feel like 3 of these 4 games are getting an equal amount of argument towards which team can win. Melbourne and Collingwood both mainstream footy media and footy fans alike that I'm seeing on socials, have pretty good arguments on why they're going to win that game. Carlton and Sydney, a little bit of the same. St Kilda and the Giants, definitely, considering that GWS only 8 days ago were not even the favourites in this game, and at last check were about $1.68. Not that this is a gambling channel, and gamble responsibly if you are going to go down that road. But the one game that seems to be a fait accompli, it seems, amongst footy fans, and even the mainstream media, is Brisbane are just going to roll through Port Adelaide. Now, the longer that this gap, this bye, has gone on, which, by the way, is the stupidest thing just about that footy's got to offer, and that list is quite extensive, let me tell you. I actually don't think is true at all. So much so that I'm tipping Port Adelaide this week. I really am, and I'm going to explain why. So let's get into it. Also want to give a massive shout out and a massive thank you to everyone that's jumped on board lately. The subscriber count has just been getting almost out of control at this point. We all know that 1750 is the goal before grand final day. I'm hoping for 2K before the draft. Can we get there? Fingers crossed that we can, because it's been amazing the amount of support that you guys have been able to give the channel recently, but throughout the entirety of 2023 as well, whether you're a subscriber 1, 880, 800, or you're the next one. I really appreciate everything that you guys have been able to do for me personally throughout 2023. But let's start with why this could end up being a really bad call, because Brisbane do deserve the credit. It is a home final after all. They did finish second on the ladder. Their percentage, much better than Port Adelaide's. I get all that. So let's address that first, and that is they're undefeated at the Gabba with a massive points for against, a massive percentage, a really healthy winning margin average there as well, as you can see via those graphics. So I get all that. So I just want you all to know that before you comment below going, Daz, your takes are dumb and this is why, I get why this could blow up. So as long as we all know that. Alright, so don't freak out on me, Brisbane fans, or anything like that. Well, Brisbane fans can, but the neutrals is who I'm sort of talking to here. But my faith in Port is kind of threefold, and the first one I think starts with they've got the tools to be able to shut down what they know. So Lachie Neale's finals record is exemplary, as you can see via the numbers there. Extraordinary. They're not going to be able to let him do what he wants. And yes, Will Ashcroft is a first-year player, but his loss is going to be profoundly missed through that midfield, because he was that steady as a rock third mid behind your Lachie Neale and behind your Josh Dunkley. Now, Hugh McCluggage as a finals midfielder has been iffy at times. We know Jared Berry's probably not going to roll through there, and the chasm between their next best midfielder is quite low for mine, and I feel like Willem Drew on Lachie Neale is going to be something that is an A+ tick for Port Adelaide, because if you are going to lose, and I hate to steal a line from Footy Classified here, but if you're going to lose any game of sport, bugger footy, anything, if you're going to lose anything, a board game, sport, whatever, don't lose by what you know. If you know something going in, you need to be able to stop it, right? Lachie Neale, if Port Adelaide do lose this game, it can't be because Lachie Neale's had 38 and kicked a couple. Or I don't care that Ken English just re-signed. He should be marched out the door, and so should that midfield group, if that's the way they're going to do things. So I think Willem Drew is going to play a really big role here, which is extraordinary considering the rest of their midfield, which is my second pillar, really, and that is that Rozee and Butters have been extraordinary. I think that they're going to be able to play well in finals. Connor Rozee especially has shown in some finals games that he is able to go to that next level, and we love seeing that. Now, both teams are going to have massive question marks over their forward lines, which is incredible considering how well they've been able to score throughout the majority of 2023, but both of them have got major question marks over their tools. Now, Jeremy Finlayson and Todd Marshall are going to have question marks over whether they're going to be able to stand up in finals, because there's no Charlie Dixon, there's no Mitch Georgiades, who would, of course, be walk-ups in their best 22s, as we know. And, of course, the question marks over Brisbane's tall forwards, are they actually going to show up, considering Joe Danaher and Eric Hipwood in the past have copped a hell of a lot of criticism for the way that they've played. So, considering the pressure gauge that is going to be on the talls, I think Port are going to be able to feed. For Brisbane to kick that sort of 90-plus score, it is going to have to be on the back of Zach Bailey, Cam Rayner, Lincoln McCarthy, etc., and their midfield group. Now, can they do that? Of course they can. They're a very good team. This isn't a Brisbane bashing video. But again, Port, they're going to have to win by what they know. And what they know is that they cannot let a confidence-boosting Joe Daniher or a confidence-boosting kind of player in Eric Hipwood get off to a good start. What Port Adelaide have in their favour is they know how Brisbane can win this game of footy, which is excellent. There's no mystery here. Now, that's worked for a team like Collingwood in the past, where you know that the Pies are going to play the exact same way for the entirety of the season. But when you combine the fact that Lachie Neale hopefully is going to be clamped-ish, right? I'm not expecting Lachie Neale to have 9 disposals or anything. 20, 25 is still very much in play for Lachie Neale here. And considering the fact that the forwards are going to be under the pump, it kind of segues into my third point as well. And the third point is just simply more to lose. Both of these sides in modern times are kind of representative of finals chokers, to be honest. Port Adelaide lost a couple of home prelims. Brisbane have lost finals seemingly everywhere in the past few years. Both teams can't afford to lose this. So which one has more to lose psychologically between the ears? It's the home team. If Brisbane lose this, the pressure cooker in the semi-final is going to be massive. And whoever they play, I think they're going to absolutely walk over at the Gabba in a semi-final. But considering that this is their version of a free hit, and every time they've seemingly had a free hit in the past, it hasn't gone well, I think that plays into Port Adelaide's hands. If they can walk up, consider themselves the underdogs, and get off to a reasonably good start, they're in. And I'm predicting all of this to happen. I'm predicting Willem Drew clamps down on Lachie Neale enough for the midfield to get an edge. And I am pumped to see how Jason Horne-Francis goes in his first final. Don't get me wrong. It's not the number one thing I'm looking out for, but I'm looking forward to it in a big, big way. I'm looking forward to seeing how Port Adelaide are going to treat the footy because they're 7th in the competition for metres gained. Brisbane are a bottom 5 team for metres gained. So when Brisbane get the footy, seemingly, they don't have to go very far because they're usually turning the ball over in their forward half. So the guys like Kane Farrell and Ryan Burton and Dan Houston are going to be huge in order to take territory because you're not going to get your amount of uncontested marks and uncontested disposals, as we know, in a final. But my third point is my biggest point. Brisbane have got an absolute avalanche heading their way if they lose, and I don't like that amount of nervous energy going into a final. Port have got it as well, but that little reasoning of we're in enemy territory, I think works for them. They couldn't really win finals at home, but can they go on the road and get it done? Absolutely they can, and I'm banking on them to do it, and I'm really looking forward to it. So who are you guys tipping for your 4 finals? Comment below, let me know. Fingers crossed Port get the job done for me, or fingers crossed it's close. I feel like if Brisbane are, 6-4, 40 to 117 at quarter time, this video is going to come back to bite me in the ass. But I consume a lot of mainstream footy media for better or worse. I'd argue worse quite a lot of the time. And I'm just not seeing enough love for Port, whereas it surprised me that they're the biggest outsiders and seemingly the team that are going to get trampled. And I don't think that's the case. I'm picking 2 outsiders for this weekend, and this is one of them, and I thought it would be the better one to talk about. So comment below, let me know. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to join the Daz Talks Footy family. Fingers crossed your team gets over the line and you can enjoy yet another week off. But a week off for everyone is stupid. AFL, change it. Good grief. Have a great weekend, guys. Goodbye.